Meeting to order. Join me in the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. And Sue, would you do a roll call, please?
Alderwoman Dobbs. Here. Alderman Fahey.
Here.
Alderman Donovan.
Here.
Alderman Eidman.
Here.
Alderman Steiger.
Here.
Alderman Prince.
Here.
Alderman Rainey.
Here.
Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. This time we'll move to approval of tonight's agenda. Second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Here we have any presentations, personal appearances, so we will skip down to city administrator's report.
We have an updated report at your seats. Item 6, Cochran has completed the plans for 9th Street roadway improvements from Market to Washington Maple, so we will have those on file in case the process passes, and we are ready for that street up front. We're installing a wireless bridge. It'll be connecting us to the street shed. Eventually, we'll disconnect the phone line at the street shed, and they'll work off of our system. So we were doing some work today on that, and for some reason our phones got knocked out. I don't know, not all of them, but some of them. Police department was fine, but City Hall, most of City Hall is out. So we'll fix that. That's gonna be worked on tomorrow. So we hope to have that done. But at that point, street shed can then go on our system. We don't have that bill. This one less bill. It doesn't cost us anything extra because it would just be out of our My Telephone system. Also, I left a handout at your seats. If you need more of those for Prop S, let me know. We'll make copies for you. Or we'll get a bunch made if you need them. So you see and talk to people that are interested in it, give that to them so they have some understanding of what that's about. We posted it on Facebook. We'll get it out to other channels. That's it. Any questions?
Yeah, and I'd like to have some of those happy if you could get me a dozen or so of them and stuff, but had some questions after the paper came out, in the article about, the bridge that we're a part of out here in the whole grant process, and now it looks like we're facing a major cost overrun in that bridge. In fact, after I talked to the county commissioner today and stuff, that cost is now could be up to $1 million from that $702,000. Can we not lose that grant, and how, because I think, the city has some participation in that. How do we keep from losing that grant and make that thing happen? And I realize it's not something we're going to do right now because it's a 2025 grant, but I think it's something we need to start planning for. I'd hate to lose that grant and then turn around and have to pay for that whole bridge in years to come.
Right.
So, and that question over the ADA sidewalks and, about $260,000 for those and stuff, I'm just kind of curious of how that whole thing came down, and now it's a 90-foot bridge instead of an 80-foot bridge. And but how do we not lose that grant, and how do we figure we're participating in that if we're asked to?
So a couple of things I think in your question. One, there has been no official communication from the county as to what the cost is and if they want us to participate. So this is just what's kind of out there. And I know it's been a newspaper, but we have not discussed anything officially with the county as to if we're going to be participating and if we're going to financially participate. I know we have to be the sponsoring agency because it's inside the city, but it's with the county's engineering firm. They're doing all the work. We've had little communication with them as to where they are in the process or what they're doing at this point. So we're just waiting to kind of see how things play out. We'll have money available in our capital projects fund if we need to come up with funds to help pay for that. Everything was, I think, in the max of $750,000. Now they're saying more. But again, no official number on that. And with handicap accessibility, I mean, that is a requirement of any federal project that be included. So, I mean, and if you've seen that on our street projects and our sidewalk projects, especially, because they have to be ADA accessible. So we'll just wait and see what the official numbers come back, kind of like what we worked with a school, see what that total number is, give us that justification, then we can bring it back to the board, and the board can decide how you want to do that.
Right. I just wanted to make sure, everybody was aware that, it is going to become an issue and we need to start planning something, but then we need to open that dialogue with the county and stuff soon that we can have those discussions.
Yeah. Yep. We'll work on
Yep, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Abby. First up, staff reports, will be Chief Crum.
Not a whole lot to report on this week. We did get all the in-car cameras installed and we're having some issues with them. Axon was back today and I believe have all that resolved. So we should be good to go on it. We did get all of our grants submitted. So we're just in the waiting phase of that. And then for the last few weeks, it's just been working on different bids and preparing for the budget. And the second week of July, I'll be out of the office for some training. Other than that, not a whole lot going on the police side right now.
Jason, you had mentioned there was an injury of one of the officers. Was that job related? Or?
No, that was an accident outside of work.
Okay. Doing okay?
Yeah, it's just going to be a long process, but he'll eventually get there. That it? Thank you.
All right, thank you, Chief. Next up, Steve Wilson with Alliance Water.
Evening, everyone. You all have a copy of my report. Stuff that's going on. We got the concrete poured for the EV charging station down behind Main Street bathrooms. Due to the recent water leak we had, they're put off building the wall around the parking area. After the beginning of the month, Marzukals come back, wire everything up, and we'll get that thing going. Planning for all the upcoming events. This weekend's the Honey Festival. We have numerous trash cans, barricades, numerous items to put out and prepare for that. Also including the cleaning of the downtown area as usual. So, Happy's already mentioned the internet that's going on and the phones going on at the Public Works building. We got those trenched in. You guys will notice a new trench across this parking lot out here. That's all current stuff. Like any questions?
What was that new, what's the transport to go out to the police shed?
It goes over and feeds the antenna that connects the street department to here.
Are you in charge of tree planting?
No,
Nope. Who's in charge? Who plants trees?
depends where you want them.
Nowhere. Do we think we're planting enough trees in the era of climate change and hotter times? Trees getting cut down all the time. Do we have an average, above average, or an aggressive tree planting process?
Because we don't have funds for it. We don't have a plan for it. So
we're just going to let climate change happen and we'll slowly fry.
at this point, we've planted trees out at Permarket Park. But, again, it depends on how much the park board wants to spend to put trees in. If somebody wants to buy a tree for a dedication, we can do that.
We've also donated some ground to Rotary. Rotary has planted about 50-something trees along Progress Parkway in the last 2 years. So we have partnered with some other civic organizations to plant some. So,
But the city itself is not budgeted is there a maintenance level of tree planting, or we don't have a budget of tree?
No, I mean, we don't dedicate anything for that. If there's a problem or issue, if something needs to be cut back and taken care of, because we got some dead trees you can probably see out the window. When we feel like we have funds, we'll get to it, but up until that point.
we have the 5 and 10 year plan So I would agree with you, Alderman Fahey, that might be a good thing to put in there, because I'm all for
Yeah,
trees.
shade will be,
I'm not a tree hugger, but I do like trees.
Mhm.
So,
Would-
pecan trees particularly, too, so.
Would there be grants available for, I mean, readily available for stuff
You
like
can,
that?
you can get small samplings through a grant process. It's just being able to properly guard them so they don't get run over.
Right.
Because they are small.
I think there's the Arbor Foundation or something, do some of that, or,
Yeah, I would assume that there's probably some grants out there
right.
available for stuff like that.
The only place we'd really have the plan was what, Pierre Marquette maybe, or,
You can do that, and you do the bottom part of, we're looking at doing some trees down in Valley Springs Park, down the lower area.
section.
But you gotta be careful what trees you put in too, so it can't just be any tree. It has to be something that can survive whatever the soil type is, type of rain situation, or if it's in a watery area.
we need downtown trees. We will be.
Downtown trees are more-
Asphalt and sun.
Yeah, downtown trees are more difficult because of power lines and the roots. So you've seen what happens, the damage that can be caused by
Right.
the tree roots.
But I don't think that should slow us up from the thought of eating trees downtown. Yes, roots can cause problems, but the downtown will look terrible if we just have large blank spaces because we're afraid to plant trees that they might get into the water line.
And it's not the water line so much.
It's the sidewalks.
Again, it's the sidewalks and how they root, if they're proper, if they give the right shade, if they can't get too tall, if you've got power lines nearby. So there's some considerations. And if a tree dies, how do you get that root ball out without tearing up the sidewalks? So you can put another tree back into the existing hole that's there.
We've talked about that in the past, of just rotating them out every 20 years. You know, even if it's a fairly healthy tree, they start growing and expanding. And I thought they had started that, it was several years ago, but being able to just know that you're going to have problems, but try to prevent them at a certain level after 15 years or 20 years, just replace that tree and start over and have a new, younger sapling and have to dig out that whole hole. So you get that root wall and put some fresh soil back in and then replant the tree. It's a lot of work, but I mean, it does make the streetscape look a lot better,
It
and
does.
for sure. So.
Go ahead.
okay. I'll have to do my annual question, Steve, so if I get questioned about is street patching. Kind of wondering, do we have a schedule, or, I know going and getting asphalt right now is a real problem.
Yeah.
Crossing 32, because I had one today, Spire was fixing up on the end of Virginia Street, and they were stuck in traffic with a 10-ton of asphalt for over an hour extra, not to mention the normal drive time and
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah, there is a load of asphalt on the schedule for next week, so there will be patching. So if anybody has any locations that need it, feel free to let us know.
nice streets, but yeah.
And thanks for jumping on the rotary trees and getting those some water for us too.
No problem.
Awesome. They needed it pretty badly, I think.
Yeah. So, all right. Thanks.
Thanks, Steve. All right. This time we'll move to public comment. Okay. Close session. And then closed session minutes are coming around from the June 13th meeting. And that will be part of tonight's consent agenda.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second. Okay, motion and a second. Everybody get a chance to look over those minutes? Okay, all in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Right. Just one item of new business tonight, the approval of the bid for the Washington Street property. So,
Yeah, so we have talked about this going out for bids because it's a piece of property that we're not using. We had an interested party,
And that is the interested
and
party.
that is the interested party. And that was the only bid that we got. We had it up for bid, or open for bid for 4 weeks. Opened it on, that was Tuesday morning. And that was the only bid that we got. We got that up front. Nobody else had submitted it. So that was the low and only bid.
It's at Washington and Front Street.
Yeah.
And it's the person that owns an adjacent.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a larger group of lots that surround it that he owns.
Any plans to do what?
I don't know, he didn't have any immediate plans on it, but he did want to try to combine it and then,
Fruit and nut trees.
that was it. No, fruit nut trees, there we go.
There we go. Solved.
Let's start.
Move to,
Okay.
second.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the bid as presented in a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. With no other business at this time, anything else that the board would like to discuss initially?
Happy, I did have one thing. I noticed on the accounts payable, we had paid a tree trimmer. I don't see the amount now, pretty substantial amount. I was just wondering where that was.
So that was Pure Marquette Park and Dave Kentley Park. Park Board wanted the stumps grinded out. So that was the stump grinding that we had done.
So are we still in line to get some problem tree areas taken care of, like the one on Chadwell Lane that the truck driver,
Well, funny you should ask. As part of the requirements that we need to put this wireless bridge in, we have rented a lift truck so that we can get up and get those tree limbs safely. So Steve and his crew are planning on doing that probably next week. We went in and rented it for a week instead of just a day to get the antenna out. So they'll be working on those. We're
so
gonna
the
do
one on
that.
Chadwell is
There's 2 limbs there that they want to get.
What's our,
been real prices out of the driver that day, so.
what's our policy for homeowners' trees that go over the road?
I think we usually wait until fire department says something about there being an issue for the fire trucks. Then we go in and we'll cut them back. We've done that on Cedar and Park in the past.
Yeah.
We haven't had any other complaints or issues.
There's
Bus
one-
drivers are the other ones.
Um,
Yeah. Usually at the beginning of the school year, Buck Jokers will let us know where they're having some issues with the buses.
It's not something we require the homeowner to do. We do it ourselves and a lot of times, or what?
And because of the amount of time it would probably take us to enforce that, to get the homeowners to do it when it's in the right of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it was a major tree problem, then we would work with the.
There's one on Cedar I'd have you look at when you drive home.
Okay.
Should be cut. So.
I don't have any trees out front.
You should have.
Good program.
White trees.
I sell trees that come up in the woods, but they don't come from around.
I cut trees down.
So, and one other thing, just to throw out discussions, I hope urging everybody to get out and discuss the prop with, any organizations that they may be involved with, whether it's a charitable organization, a nonprofit, a church group. I mean, I think at this point, it's just getting out in front of the information to make sure we're passing it along to all the voters. And then,
When is the vote?
August 6th.
6.
Oh, a month.
Yeah, so we're getting down to the,
Has there been any rumblings or feedback or
I mean,
an anti-group forming or anything?
not that I've seen or heard from yet. It's
Seen any
awfully quiet,
signs.
which
Yeah.
is a little interesting. I know that the IDC's prepared to spend some money to put up some advertisements around the community. So they've earmarked some funds for that. And
I think the groups like the Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary here are the most civic-minded and all. Have they discussed it, taken a formal position, urged their people to get out and involved?
no, I mean, I know I can speak for the Rotary Club. I mean, I gave a presentation to them, but it was in the very infant stages of us during the bond proposal. So we had still not formally ratified the direction we were going, but we kind of let them know that it was coming. But I did plan on getting on their meeting schedule here in July to have a discussion with that. But, you know, there's also
2 weeks.
July 7th.
Oh, yeah. I was going to talk to you about that. But like the Lions Club and Eagles, I mean, Elks, I mean, there's a number of them out there. I think we can maybe get the word out, start pushing out that message.
Any of those organizations actually endorse?
I don't think I mean, absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's any reason why they wouldn't be able to. If they would love to do that, we'd more than welcome that.
We just need somebody to head that up to get those organizations together and say they endorse it, because we can't as the city, correct?
Right.
Right.
But the city can't come out and
Right.
say, yes, you can, if you're speaking.
No, but you're talking about
in
collecting,
general,
collecting and then disseminating and saying, yes, we get the support of all these groups. Yeah, it would be kind of tricky at that point. So-
And we can always funnel that information back through the IDC. So if you were to, let's say you went and spoke at a club or organization, they were willing to offer a letter of support, we could funnel that to the IDC and they could push it out through their channels as well. So there's a lot of ways we can go about it.
So to answer your question about the chamber, I've sent them a letter. They requested a letter kind of explaining how this came about. So it's explain why we're doing Prop S, the reasons behind it, and how it became, how we got to this point. So I'm hoping that they'll either send a letter of support or send it out to their membership saying, here, get out and vote on April 6th.
Yeah, do you think somebody who's a member of the chamber or representing us don't they have regular meetings of the chamber?
The chamber board meets monthly, the membership meets quarterly.
Oh, yeah. We're probably not a meeting between now and
I don't know that there's a meeting between now and the election. I'm trying to recall when their last quarterly membership meeting was, but I want to say March or April, so it may be coming up, and if there is, I haven't seen any publication. If there is, we can sneak in there, and I'd be happy to go there. And, along those same lines, I think everybody's maybe heard that there's the local government town hall that's been organized by the county commission. It's on July 25th, so it's on the evening of our normal meeting. I have been asked to go and speak and then also answer questions. I was going to put it before the council to either, if we wanted to push our regular meeting back, because I think it might be prudent if we have somebody there that could discuss that topic.
Absolutely.
And answer questions. And I think it may be one of our best opportunities to actually get that information out and answer the questions in front of the public. So I was going to see if that is it possible for us to manipulate the meeting time or date if it came to that? The town hall is scheduled to start at 6, so it's.
It's right at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would assume, I think if I'm going to go to present, I would think I would need to be there the entire time because you never know when a question's going to get volleyed. I think everybody has an allotted time that they're able to speak, and then I think it opens up to questions from the public. So I think it's scheduled right now from 6 to 8 or something in that neighborhood, or 6 to 7:30. I can't recall exactly. So I don't know if it's something where we try to meet prior to that, or if we try to meet I just wanted to discuss with the council what you all thought about that.
I think it's, something you need to be a part of. It's stuff the city needs to be a part of. Whatever we can do to schedule around it.
The other option is to hold the meeting at the same time, and Alderman Steiger could run the regular meeting here. And that's always an option too, if we didn't want to maneuver the meeting time or date.
Because we don't want, unless you all want to show up, we have to then post it as a regular meeting. If we get more than 3 members of the board in the same place.
I mean, it's something, I mean, I don't think there's any.
4 or more.
I think when you go out there and show up in front of that group, I think it has to be a stronger statement than you are in favor of this, or that you would be able to say, this has been discussed thoroughly and analyzed, and it's the unanimous opinion of the Board of Aldermen here.
Sure.
Every ward, each one of them thinks this is something that's vital for our town looking forward. Right?
Right, so you're saying you'd like for everybody to be there in some capacity, or you think it's just a more
No.
joint?
No, I think you, I would just say this statement should come out that
Right.
even the aldermen who aren't here tonight are, this is something that
Right, and I think I get about 5 to 10 minutes. I mean, I can easily draft that and send it out to the council, and you guys can take a once over at it and see if, there's things that you feel like maybe we need to emphasize more than others, or if there's something that I've left out, I'd be more than willing to take input on that. But I do think, given the timing of it, with it being so close to election on that July 25th date, that I think having one of us there to answer questions and talk about it, I think is important, because it really might be one of our only forums between now and election day to really.
well, then I wonder if we need more than one person, and should we rethink about rescheduling the meeting?
I think we should.
2, 3,
I would
4.
like to be there. I
I'd
think
go
to show the support, I think it's,
Mhm.
they're gonna give us the platform, I think.
We would just need to know how many plan, I guess, to show up.
Yes.
So then we could post it as a.
Post it as a meeting, yeah.
As a-
If necessary, if we don't have that many, then we're fine. And then, so on Wednesday night is sometimes what's new, that's broadcast on SGTV, but we could probably ask them to postpone that. Or Tuesday night, Monday night's park board. So if you want to reschedule the meeting earlier, you've got Tuesday or Wednesday.
There was a great What's New St. Genevieve 2 weeks ago. Did you see that?
Did not, but I've heard a lot of good things about it. Reviews were fantastic.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Don't pick up on that. Guess who the guest was.
I don't know if we can do it earlier on that Tuesday. Trying to have 5 o'clock meeting might be kind of difficult. I don't know.
On that Thursday, the same,
Yeah, I'm sorry, Thursday.
yeah.
And Wednesday,
Well, and I think the last thing we're all gonna wanna do is come back and actually have a meeting after that's completed. So like that evening, that would be an awfully late, meeting, so
yeah, try to have it at 8 o'clock or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
That'd be tough. And what time does What's New happening? Oh, is that start at 6?
7.
Starts at 7?
Yeah.
I don't know if they'd be willing to push back just so that if we ran over, if we did our meeting on Wednesday.
Is it live?
Yeah.
do you think we could hold off on any work session items to the?
Just depends on what comes up. I mean,
Yeah.
I can, yes, I can push them off. I mean, obviously, we're doing that tonight.
Yeah, well, if we're able to, if we think it's, maybe we could load up the meeting before, if there was anything we know of ahead of time, maybe we could try to squeeze those into maybe an extended work session on the,
It just means we hold off for a
Yeah.
couple more weeks. So
I mean, obviously, there's probably some pressing, if there's a pressing matter, we'll have to address it, but.
I've got 3 items for the next meeting. We'll see. And there may not be anything for the following meeting.
Okay.
You just never know.
Okay. I just wanted to take the temperature of everybody and see what you all thought, but I think it's kind of important, and obviously if there's a show of support from the group here, I think that would be even better.
Yeah.
Present a united front in that. Okay.
That'd be 2 weeks from tonight.
2 weeks. No, July 25th. Sorry.
4 weeks from tonight.
More or less 4 weeks, yeah.
We will find out later, either we're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, potentially to replace the Thursday meeting.
Correct. I think that's,
So
is that where we're trending?
I would think we could, start a meeting at 6 and we'd be out here by 7. We got an agenda together.
Okay.
Happy out of curiosity, have you heard what else is on the ballot for the 6th? Okay.
I mean, no, I'm not, I haven't really paid enough attention to it, besides being a primary.
Yeah, well,
Well, I would assume the Herald's going to post a sample ballot very soon, right? Okay. So that may be,
Could a group take out an advertisement in the newspaper to vote yes on proposition, boom, it's the future of our city, it's the future of our streets,
yep,
we couldn't pay for it out of city funds, but is
we
there
can private fund it.
private funding? Do you think we should beat the bushes and see where that private funding is?
I think the mayor's talked about that.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, the IDC earmarked $2,500 towards that. And they haven't necessarily said what or how or through what mediums they want to put it out, but
I think we should, with it coming up to soon, we ought to be in more than one edition of the paper. We ought to be for the 2-3 weeks leading up to it. Open it up, and I would think a half-page ad, or I'm sure the Herald would be supportive of giving us half price for a full-page ad.
better.
Or better, and really get people's attention that vote yes is the future of our town.
well, it's buy 2 full page, get 1 free, right?
And a supplement.
It just, they're just throwing it out.
I don't know what they probably already have it scheduled, but what's happening, on that July 24th would be a really good time to be.
So what's new?
What's new,
Yeah,
so
bet we
maybe
could get on
Iris or,
I bet we could get on it.
yeah, that would be a really good one to be on.
Sure.
That'd be a good forum to,
Who do we talk to?
that Iris Vincent and,
I think that's Charlie could pass it on to.
Okay.
and then a couple could just stay after the meeting and
Yeah.
if they want, you know.
And just go at that point?
Yep.
I think if we had a few aldermen with, as part of that, I think that'd be nice. Just to hear some different perspectives, different wards. I think the more, like you said, united we are in that, successful. Huh?
Yeah, this has to look like more than your good idea.
It wasn't my good idea, but
Broad.
it was
Support
definitely
from all
all
ownership of the town.
I agree.
You can do it.
And I'm sure the constituents in your wards will appreciate that. I'm hearing it from you all directly. Just some thoughts. So I think, do we want to have an answer by, at the next meeting, firm and fast? So we want to, or do you want to say that that's what our plan right now is to shoot for a 6 o'clock meeting on Wednesday, the 24th?
The board needs to vote on
We can do that.
switching meetings.
So we can put that on the next meeting agenda. Okay.
Yeah, so we don't want to just change it.
Let's prepare for that as of now.
Well, you just need a motion now?
No,
It's just to change the agenda. It'd be-
you're changing the meeting date. Usually it's in my report that we do that kind of stuff, so it's already been published. We haven't published this, so we're kind of
Where are you gonna put it on the agenda to change it?
probably new business.
I'd have to have a second read.
We have new business right now, right? We're more, when do you, it's up to you if you want to bring it back.
I'll swear back.
I don't think Joe heard that.
And I understand his point, like, just don't do it, but. Yeah,
All right.
we haven't published that idea, and I'd like for it to at least be on something that's been, put out officially.
Okay. Wonderful. And then thanks to Alderman Steiger for running the meeting on the 13th in my absence. Appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Heard rave reviews about that one as well.
He's amazing.
Anything else you guys would like to discuss?
So did we, I know that Mississippi Line gave a rebuttal to the Herald, but did we get a copy of that? I just saw what was paraphrased in the Herald,
The statement?
the statement. Did we get a copy of that? Did they send one to us by chance?
No, I received. I was out of town, I'm not sure, Mark may have just gotten it directly, but no, I did not, I didn't get that.
That's all.
We're open to a conversation. Let's put it down. All right. Nothing else. We will adjourn.
Thank